Okay, welcome everyone. Let's we'll start today lesson. Today we are doing third lesson on financial management. So please just go through the first and second lesson. Just try to listen. So during our first and second lesson, we discuss about. Let's first recap, and then we'll start our lesson today. So first lesson we discuss about be able to apply the tools and techniques of cost accounting, where we discuss about the features and the importance of the cost accounting. We discuss about marginal cost. We discuss about uh, absorption costing. We discuss about ABC costing. We discuss about the process costing. So all these various our lesson one, we discuss about cost systems. So please just revise, and we discuss about various costing methods. We discuss about cost center, where we calculate the cost, profit center, where we calculate the cost, and revenue investment center, where we will do cost, profit, and investment in our organization. So all these we discussed during our first lesson. Our second lesson, we discuss about financial statement, how many types of financial statement we have. Like we discuss about profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow statement. I mentioned you a couple of examples. So please go through my second lesson. So just recap on these, second lesson, I also discuss about financial ratios, important of financial ratios. We discuss about the four major categories of these ratios, how we can measure the performance in our organization. So all these we discuss about under LO2. So today we are doing LO3, learning outcome 3. So learning outcome 3, be able to evaluate the budgetary process of organization. So we'll discuss about the evaluate the budgetary target of our organization. So organization have a budget, organization have a budgetary target. So how we can make budget, on what base budget, what is meant by budget, and budget, we are staying within a budget or not. All this we can evaluate, by looking the budget and again the organization targets and strategies as well. All develop a master budget mean overall budget of organization, that's called master budget. The central government budget is called master budget, and then we have a local government budget, and then operating budgets as well. Operating budget mean low level, all each operational area, the operational budget. So then critically evaluate the budget or the budgetary process in our organization. Budget or the budgetary control in our organization. You have a budget, so if you don't have a control in place, so budget can be under or otherwise not being we stay within a budget. So all we need to be evaluate, so to be stay in a budget. So anybody any questions, so please drop me email. You have my email on these PowerPoint slides, and please just do, and I'll send you chapter of the book, to be read on further on the budget. So budget, today we'll discuss about budget types: flexible budget, fixed budget, zero-based budget, budgetary process, subsidiary, functional, master budget, relationship to budget and the cost, resource utilization. So all this our discussion will be budget monitoring and evaluation. If we have a budget, it will help us to monitor and evaluate we are within a budget or not. We can look around the and budgetary figures, and we can look around the variances mean the difference between budget and actual figures. You budget your expenditure, but actually you spend less, is mean adverse variance can be favorable variance as well, favorable in your favor. Corrective action, what sort of the corrective action required as an organization. So all this we'll discuss today lesson. Anybody any question? Okay, so let's we'll start our lesson today. So today is the third lesson we're doing on budget. My name is Anjum Satar, and these are my emails. So please drop me email if you have any question. Is the third lesson on financial. So today lesson, be able to evaluate the budgetary process of organization. So what do we know the budget? Do we know anything about budget? So budget is a financial plan. Budget is mean where we are, where we want to be. So budget provide a set nav is like a navigation system. So let's we'll go through. So budget and budgetary control. Every organization needs a budget. So developing and managing a budget is how successful business allocate, track and plan the financial spending. A formal budgeting process is the foundation for good management, growth and development. Very similar to our personal finances, discipline and planning should be a cornerstone of a business budgeting process. So where do we begin? As with the most things that come with the managing an organization, budgeting need to be driven by the vision of the organization, where the organization will want to see themselves in near future. So always, we have a vision. Vision is how we'll see in self in future as an organization, where we want to be, where we heading towards. So all this the strategic plan step to get there, what sort of the steps will be used to be reached. We have a vision. Our vision is to be a market leader in next 5 years. So what strategic plan we need to be in place, we will be there. Organizations that stay focused on the strategy and the plan now exactly where they want to spend their resources, have a plan to help to keep them from spending money in the area that don't line up with the vision that we are trying to do. So mission, why we are doing it. So is a source, please, if you want to read further, is there as well. Let's move to next. Okay, so next we're looking the budget contribute to performance to providing benchmark against the compare actual result through the variance analysis. Like earlier I mentioned though, if we have a budget, we can compare with the actual result and then we can find the variance. So variance is the difference between budgeted and actual. So to develop the corrective measures, they take many forms and serve many function, but provide the basis. Detailed sale targets, staff plan, production, cash investment, borrowing, capital expenditure is mean investing money on asset. Buying asset is called capital expenditure. Day-to-day expenses is called revenue expenditure. So budget give managers pre-approval for acquisition spending plan and allow them to provide the forward-looking guidance to investor and the creditor. For example, budget are necessary to convince bank and other lenders to extend the credit. So when you're going, they'll say, oh, how much budget you kept, how you will feel, where the money will come from. You have a cash budget, you have a. So guys, just remember everyone, whenever we'll make a budget in our organization, we need to always forecast the sales, because if in our organization forecast the sales, forecast the activities, what you want to be do, depend upon the nature of the organization. So every organization need to forecast the sales. If my sales is going up, increasing, I need to be more production. I need to buy more stock. I need more workers. If my business is growing. So all this is based on our sale forecast. Even in the small business, the robust business plan budget can be often result anticipating, avoiding after outcome, and the medium and the larger, whatever the size of organization, all need a budget. So let's we can summarize our discussion. Budget is a financial plan. It put into financial terms what are we are going to achieve, and A, where we are, and B, where we want to be. And that's why how we are going to achieve it is all due is budget. What period should it cover? Budget can be short term, long term and medium term. Budget can be for any period. Long term budget have few details, 5 years plan. The most common is an annual budget prepared for every 12 months. The typical prepared is a great details. So operational budget is it can be area, the operational area where we're dealing directly with the customer, are we doing some operations, so marketing, sales, customer service, after sales service, these are all operational areas, manufacturing. Okay, so next we're looking budgetary planning. So under the budgetary control, budgetary planning, so creating a budget forces managers to consider the long-term goals. You plan how to achieve them, identify the resources required and available within a budget. Planning enable us to deal with the problem in advance and take the advantage. Like, we quoting example of the Brexit. What is happening in Brexit? In terms of the Brexit, we need to be planned, maybe we will be short, maybe our product demand will increase because foreign goods become expensive in the UK in terms of paying duties as well. So always we need to look around these very closely to be become. So if you have any question, so please ask me. So deal with the problem in advance and take. So next we're looking budgetary control. Let's guys quick read what is budgetary control. So let's we'll next area our discussion will be budget for us to control the organization, communication of the budget, communication of the business plan, coordinate of the organizational activity goals. So if we have a budget, so we have a control on it. Authorization of spending motivates, consider the behaviors, monitoring and evaluation of performance. So that's all come under the budgetary control. So control system, what we can measure. You have a budget, you have actual. So difference will be variance. So you can identify, take action to rectify the situation. As budgeted, no action required if we will stay within a budget. Better than the budgeted, take action to repeat. So we need to look around. So budget, in under our learning outcome, what type of budgets are there? Subsidiary budget, the budget parts of the organization, departmental budget, production budget, sale budget, uh, various other type of these are called subsidiary budget. So master budget, budget for a whole organization, whole country, prepared for the board and combined from all the subsidiary. So first step to preparing a budget is to consider the organization strategies and long-term goals. Budget should be consistent with these and help them to achieve. Next, consider the length of the period for which the budget will be prepared. This will help determine the level of details. So preparing budget, the first step preparing budget to consider the organization strategy and the long-term goal. It don't need to be contradict. We are saying we want to grow, but we in the budget we are cutting. Is it we are growing? So always we need to look around. The budget should be consistent. If not, you're too much, 1 year and consistently growth that will help, we will help to determine the level of details required our budget. Annual budget or the shorter period of budgets. It can be 6-month budget. Budget prepared in a great detail, lower level of details. So Activity level and limiting factor. Next, establish what the business output for a budget period will be determined by the business limiting factor. Limiting factor are the things that prevent us from earning more. It is usually sale demand, alternative, it could be production capacity, resources, availability, material, or the skilled labor. So all we need to look around. Subsidiary budget. So sales, production overhead, so these are all, so sale is the first step. Then we have a production budget, material usage budget, material purchase budget, production budget. It goes like, so sales, production, material usage, material purchase, production labor, production overheads, sale department, administration, and capital expenditure. So this is all sort of budget we can make the subsidiary budget. So master budget, the subsidiary budget then combined to produce a master budget to review the board, and master budget will include the profit and loss of the organization, budgeted balance sheet, how much asset are the budgetary cash. So who prepare the budget? A budget is one of the organization's most important document. A budgetary responsibility in an organization must be consistent. Authority, who will be responsible. So in budget responsibility, accounting is very important. Various authors agree. So we need to be, please, if you want to be further read on budget, so ACCA Global, if you just type in a Google search ACCA Global, and the article on budget, budgetary control, zero based budget, or the flex budget, so lot of stuff there is good to read. So except, if the production, marketing, all these are different departmental budget, and the managers of those departments can make the budget. So budget have two approaches: top down budgeting process and the bottom up. Top down, top level, making budget and information. Bottom up, we mean budget is preparing operational level and combine at the top level and authorize it. So budget are prepared at the senior level and split between the different department. Bottom up budgeting approach, subsidiary are departmental budget prepared by the lower or the middle level management. So that's all is called bottom up or bottom down approach. So in your assignment, guys, you can discuss as well. It's quite good to know these are the different approaches of budget. Advantages: top down approach, so link to the strategy should be clear, easier and quicker to prepare, because you're preparing at the top level. You don't need to be look around the low levels but there are can be control and coordinate can be easy, but there are lack of expertise over the operational at the lower level. Maybe you're sitting in a head office, maybe a couple of you watch the program Undercover Boss. That's why nowadays companies management visiting and as an undercover boss to observe it what sort of the needs or the businesses need to be. So it's quite good program. If you want to watch, please, it's called Undercover Boss. So if you just type on YouTube, there are plenty of here in the UK as well as in the United States, US. So a lot of different series on Undercover Boss. So it's good to watch. Basically purpose is understanding. So if you're sitting at the top level making the budget, maybe that budget reflecting. So lack of expertise over the operational at the lower level, poor decision and lack of involvement and the middle management and less commitment, and that can be demotivated. So bottom up budgeting involved from the all level of management, expertise, motivational greater in understanding. Disadvantage: slow, we need to look around, can lead the lack of focus on the poor link over our strategy, because you know the executive level or the strategic level decision, you're making the operational level, you setting, and then the management it can just sign off. Budget committee, oh, Okay, is very, very important to control the budget committee. In the committee, budget need to be representation from the various stakeholders, implied representation, employer representation, management representation, our non-executive members, in our organization, the board, their representation. So budget affect all responsibility centers of our organization. Coordinate and agreement between the centers is vital. Budget committee control the budget preparation, and it is usually comprised of the representative from the various responsibility centers, cost center, profit center, those we discussed during our lesson 1. So these meant by. Okay, anybody any question? Okay, next we're looking now different budgeting philosophies. So incremental budget and traditional budget. Incremental budget start with the current position and refer organization strategy, what needs change to achieve the goals. So incremental budget does not try to reinvent the wheel. It's just a quicker, and it often reflect the commercial reality and the business strategy. So you carry on increasing existing spending, often seen incorrect. Maybe we'll say, okay, no, 2% increase, but actually we are up. Like NHS is a true example in UK. When we're looking increase the usage of the budget, there is a gap. There is an incremental budget, but the increment is not reflect the level of activity at the level of usage. So we need to look around. Incremental budget sometime have so maybe we can't bring the inefficiencies and down, so we can carry on increasing budget. So whether the function should be performed at all or not, so it's quite difficult. So please, so go through. Next we're looking the zero-based budgeting is also budgeting method which is under LO3. Zero-based budgeting start from the premises that all the expenditure must be justified, and just start a blank sheet. Start with the zero. You don't know anything, you re-estimate it and make your budget. For is quite good approach where you always assessing and re-estimating how much cash, how much money you required for each level of activities. So that you can start. Philosophy from the link with the business processes, re-engineering, BRP. So zero-based budget is a view each budget as a cost and the benefit analysis. We're looking what cost, benefit. We are investing money, what we'll get out of it. Those. So always is quite good to improve the value of our money, and challenging why, how the things are done. Doesn't simply accept the current position, but it need to be lot of discussion. Time consuming. Sometimes people say every time you start with the zero, you reassess, it takes time, and time itself is a cost. So it's a costly process as well. Zero-based budgeting sometimes can be moral shaping, and does it reward good ideas? Does it reward managers who are the good at the justify their budget? Sometimes create a disadvantage and may even create a conflict. Anybody any question up to now? So next we're looking the cash forecast. So any budget we are making behind the scene, we need a money for it. So in a business, you can forecast the future sales figure, likely the cash flow into and out of the business. As the business often prepare the cash forecast showing the money flow into and out of the business through bank accounts. So cash budget is a statement which estimated future receipt and the payments are tabulated into such a way as shows the forecast the cash balance of a business at defined interval. So what does it shows to a business management? So cash effect of all the plans made within the budgetary process. Preparation of the cash budget leads to be modification of a budget in case of insufficient cash resources fulfill plan. So give management an indication of potential problem that could arise, allow them the opportunity to take action to avoid such problem, and cash budget can show the following. So we're looking the cash forecast, short-term surplus, pay creditor early to obtain the discount. attempt to increase the sale by increasing the debtors and the stock. So, okay, cash is the lifeblood for any business. So if we have a cash, we have a good bargaining power. So in a business, we always forecast. If we don't have our own cash, we must need to make arrangement. We won't be under cash. We heard about a lot of company being bankrupt, but their assets were millions, billions, but they can't sustain it due to the cash. So we can need to be focused how quicker we'll get the cash. As stronger we have a cash position, we will be good in a sound position at the sound financial position. So make short-term investment, cash flow forecast, short-term deficit, increase creditors. So if a short-term we have a, so we'll try to be negotiate with the supplier and pay them later. Reduce the debtors, we convince our customer if you pay early, we will provide you prompt payment discount. It's called early settlement discount. Prompt payment discount means early settlement discount. So early settlement discount is quite good, you know. So if you provide early settlement discount to your so if you provide early settlement discount to your customer, so it's quite good, you know, so they can okay, so early settlement discount help, you know, organization. So we need to look around and improve the cash flow as well. So the cash flow forecast, long-term surplus, make long-term investment, expand, diversify, replace, and update the fixed assets. Okay, anyone, any question, guys? So please ask me, just drop me email. Those are just listening this are recorded lessons. Okay, long-term deficit, raise the long-term finances such as via issue share capital, consider shutdown or the investment. Okay, we all about well aware of the Unilever and Procter and Gamble. Unilever is quite world leading consumer product company. So they used to be 500 brands. So they reduced those brands to 250. So around 250 brands they sold off to the local investor because the reason to be improve the cash flow, because sometimes you have some loss making unit not giving you the cash quicker, so we need to look around your cash not stuck it, and to sustainability issues in a business can be rise if we don't have look, you know, regular cash for. So purpose behind cash statement made up by the following activities. So during our second lesson, we discuss about different sort of the financial statement. So to make a budget or the cash forecast, so we can look around where the cash being used in the statement. So we have operating activity generate from the service or the product is our normal business financing activities. Cash can be generated by getting the finances, issuing more share to the public, or borrowing money from the bank in the as a long term investing activity. If we have a spare cash, so we can invest in various activity, or we can buy more asset, non-current assets. So those are all come under the investing activity. So where the net cash being generated are used, you know, so all we can look around. So cash flow, working example, cash flows, cash budget. So budgeting often seen as a competitive process, zero sum game with the winner or loser. So different department fighting over the scale of resources. Coming to the Neil Robin, one of the great economists, modern school of thought, he gave the theory is called unlimited wants and limited resources are scarcity resources, and we need to find the best alternative and best option to utilize our scarce resources to get the maximum output. So always we need to be look around the scarce resources what we have, how effectively. So if you're an efficient manager, your job, every manager have a scarcity of resources, scarce resources, but you need to utilize in such a manner. So management definition itself, management is a process of designing an environment to achieve the pre-selected objective. So whatever objective we have selected, so we can achieve. So scarce resources we need to make sure can internal relations sometime due to horse trading damages implementation strategies. Managers often cut out their requirement, assuming that some demands will always reject it. So that can be a problem. Set a stone budget, often set once a year and then left alone, often not updated for the changes in the condition. We need to look around, can result in inflexibility and poor decision, delays purchasing of new equipment until new years, can result in a manager's performance being measured against the target. Sometimes those are unrealistic. Reward poor behaviors, punish good behavior. So we can budget and understand often the punish with the budget reduction in the next year, result year by year. Budget hours spent, sometime rewarded with the budget increase in the next year. Larger budget can be viewed as a sign of success by the departmental managers. So all these are the resources, the links as well. If you want to read further, so please do so as well. Okay, guys, anybody, any questions? So today, let's back to our learning outcome. So we learn about today. So let's a bit recap. So today we cover about under budget LO3, flexible, the budget change, fixed, the budget stay the same. We discuss incremental part of it as well. We discuss zero-based budgeting. We discuss the budgetary process. We discuss the subsidiary and functional and the master budget. Master budget mean overall organizational budget. We discuss about the relationship of budget to the cost and quality control. We discuss about the resources utilization, budget health, and the profit and loss that can be come under the master budget. We discuss about budget, how this help us variance. So variance can be budget for the material, labor, and all their cost. We have a variance difference between budgeting and actual. Only the budget will help us. We can measure why this is happening. Is it due to the poor performance or external environment? So all we need to be take the corrective action. We discuss about the human behavior relating budget. So these are the things we discussed today. So we cover our LO3, learning outcome 3, assessment criteria 3. So please 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 we discussed today. So please guys, just go through these slides and go through chapter of the book on budgeting as well. I already copied the link, so please, it's quite good link to look around. Kaplan handouts, this is I already copied there about budget. So I just quick show you as well. So please go through, and if you have any question, drop me email. So next lesson we'll go through. So this is just type in Google Kaplan financial knowledge is all about the budget, budgetary system, flex budget, rolling budget, subsidiaries, all in our discussion we discuss, but the links is within your slides. You can copy and paste it and you can go through. If you have any question, just drop me email. So that's all today. Okay, have a wonderful time, and hope we'll speak you soon. If you have any question, drop me emails. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So speak you. Bye-bye. Have a nice time. Please just, do background reading, and I'll speak you next week, same time, UK time, 11:30 till 12:30, normally your lesson. So please try to attend or listen these all the recording and go through handouts, and speak you next week. Bye bye.